that's good. Anyway. Nothing like coffee at noon. Sorry, let me get situated. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Talitha Jumoons, aka Tilly, or Tilly Joe. I really enjoyed that one. Today I am just going to do a little story time while I just sort of elaborate on my last art video, because I didn't realize, or I'm not super good at teaching, but I am going to try, because I think if I can be an artist and draw and learn how to do art, then anyone else can. It's basically just me, a pen, and a notebook for years. And then when I did branch out to do a little bit more, it was, in high school, and that was my senior year. So basically, I just don't think that you need, to have to pay for classes. I mean, maybe if you want to, that's like cool, because I definitely will pay for classes if I ever get the funds. But I mean, there's a lot of self-taught artists that didn't and don't. I mean, you can watch YouTube, videos other artists like me are trying to share about what we do or how we do it. And I think, especially if it's like a hobby or therapeutic, which is what art is for me, then it's, Also, well, at this point in my life, I love art with every fiber of my being, to my very core. So I am actually trying to pursue it professionally. In which case, I might need some classes. But I'm going to start off slow and see how it happens. Anyway, so story time. So recently, where I am in my life, I just lost my job. Now, I understand that is the case for a lot of people during this pandemic, this troubling time. My situation was slightly different, I think, because I was contracted to work, and then basically, the company I worked for was really huge, a big deal. I'm not gonna name them, but I worked through this vendor company to, for this big company, and basically you're on a time contract where they say oh, you work for us this much time, and if you prove that you are a good fit, we will convert you. So basically, I worked the entire year because I had a year contract, and then they were when the year was up, I was so, what I mean? I thought that would be, I think a year is good enough to tell whether or not you're a good fit. At least I thought so. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too dumb for that. But what they told me was that they couldn't convert during a pandemic, even though they were still interviewing and hiring for the position, positions for our team. So I was very much okay, that's weird, but I don't understand. Maybe there's some things that are going on that I just don't know about. That went on for at least 3 or 4 more extensions. And then literally last week, I got a call 4 minutes before my shift ended, and they were oh, do you still have the equipment? And then I said, yeah. What are you talking about? Of course I still have the equipment. And they're oh, well, they've decided to not renew or extend your contract. And I was wait a second, what? 2 days before my final, before the contract ended, they let me know. Literally 2 days. So, obviously I cried. Because what do? You find out you're jobless in 2 days. I panicked, cried, Luckily, I had Stevie there, my puppy. She's a rescue, and I've only had her since like a little bit before Thanksgiving, but she's so sensitive and I love her. And she like crawled over to me and like put her paw on my hand and started licking my eyeballs. I was like, how am I gonna take care of you? And also I have a cat, but obviously my cat is indifferent. She sees me crying, she's like, ew. Why are you crying? Anyway, so basically that's what's happened. So I'm in a predicament, but I did make a little video on TikTok just asking for help, and people, I was so just, I don't want to say surprised, but you know, with everything going on in the world, I was genuinely surprised that like people actually cared. Because I was really sad. Because I loved my team. I loved everybody I worked with. It was so sudden. And I was really sad. Yeah. So then I made a little TikTok video. Some people donated and all of that. Because, you know, I mean, when you lose your job, then all of a sudden you're like, well, rent. I have to pay my rent. I have to pay for things to live. I'm still like renting, and you know, and it was a job that definitely paid for my lifestyle, like to have my animals, my art, my house, my car, everything. And 2 days before the contract ended, and they let me know, you know, a little cherry on top. 2021 has definitely been a thing. Also, unrelated, I don't know if you viewers believe in witchy stuff, but if you've ever seen Practical Magic with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock, then there's like this thing that happens where the broomsticks fall, and it's like bad luck, you know. My cello fell. My cello fell right on the freaking floor and broke. I've had that cello since high school. And literally nothing happened. It's like it was leaned up against my wall, and it had been leaned up against my wall for probably months since I didn't touch it. And then all of the sudden, out of nowhere, me and Stevie are just like sitting on the little futon on the floor and like watching TV, and it just like bam! And then we were just like, because it was so loud that the whole front part came off, and then like the bridge and everything just came right off. So I don't know if that was like an omen. I hope it wasn't. That happened before I lost or got laid off. So yeah, scary. Anyway, so now what I've been doing is reevaluating my existence, my life, what I want to do with myself. And I know it's art. I've always done art since I was little. I usually find work that I can do to support my passion. But now I really want to do the thing where you take your passion and make it your profession. Like that's the goal now. I want to do, like, I love video game art, I love oil painting, digital work, watercolors, colored pencils. I work a lot in pen, clearly from my last video. And then this video, I'm going to actually elaborate on hands and how to draw them from memory. And with the previous video, I used this book for the hand. If you guys are interested, I'm not gonna move it right now because it's like propped up so I can see it, but I'll tell you the name somewhere around here because I forgot what it's named. I have like a good amount of books I do use a lot of art reference books. I think like if you are going to learn from, you know, at home or by yourself, books are very good to have. Anyway, I'm gonna show a little video with the voiceover, so watch that. So this is my art video on how I draw hands from memory. Just going off of everything else, I did use my own hand a little bit, but I don't have a picture reference for any of these. I started it off already by prepping the paper kind of just loosely with, I don't know, splotches of watercolor to create sort of a randomness about how I was going to draw these, because sometimes, actually more often than not, I overthink everything and then I'm just sitting there not doing anything because I overwhelm myself. So with the previous video, I did state lines are a huge thing. So if you just want to practice how I do, I'll just lay out random splotches, sometimes of watercolor, because they do kind of just spread out in a variety of ways, which is way fun. And then you can just sort of, however the splotches look, you know, you can create hands from that, which is a fun little practice I like to do. Obviously, these are like nowhere near as good as the previous video of hands, because I did use a picture reference for that. But I think these are always really good for practice in your sketchbook. So with this, again, it's lines and just how they communicate with each other. If you can use hand photos though too, because those always help. But I always, I would say, well, my original foundation with art did start with anime. So I did use a lot of memory or what I had in my brain from like animes, pointing, punching. You know, and they use powers or summon something, and then the hand art's always really cool and intricate, so I did a lot of that. Watercolor is great for this too, just because it, I don't know, it's just very interesting to look at. I didn't do a whole lot of shading though with these. I kind of wanted to do just general shapes. And there's a lot of, clearly like fingers are cylindrical, so you want to keep in mind, you know, that where the nails sit, it is going to be rounded because hands aren't flat. So where the fingernails are, if you've noticed, they are kind of rounded like little rainbows, which is fun. They're not super detailed, but I think for reference sake, you know, just getting the art on the paper. I don't know, I actually really enjoy hands. I think I'm gonna do feet next, because feet are weird too. It's a weird thing to draw. I think the easiest thing for me when I started drawing was like head down to the shoulders, and then I just stopped for a while. But anyway, if you have any questions or suggestions or comments, I would really appreciate all of those, and especially suggestions for upcoming videos. I would really appreciate it. These are really fun for me to do, so I love to talk about it. Again, it's not super detailed this time around, but hopefully more. I do plan on doing more art videos with different body parts. I am going to elaborate more on whether or not it's from a photo reference or from, you know, memory. That way, if I am drawing it, I'll try to give a better understanding on what the method is I'm using, because it is, you know, it is something that you just have to commit to memory and then go from there. But yeah. Oh, that's strong, but very good. Like and subscribe for more art videos and story times with me. We'll have a good time. All right, I'm gonna go now. Bye.